Hello, Guille. Good evening, Guille. Welcome to the class, Guille. How are you?
Hi, teacher. Good evening. Great.
Excellent, Guille.
And you?
Very good, Guille. Fine, too. Guille, how was last weekend, Guille? What did you do last weekend?
It was great, teacher, because, okay, as you know, as I told you, um, we didn't have classes from Thursday through
Ah,
today.
Thursday, Friday.
Yes.
Exactly, Guille.
Yes.
So, Guille,
So
what did
we
you do? Did you go out?
we had a long bridge. So I stay at home doing some housework and reading, doing exercise, or just I need to say exercising.
Very good. I was exercising. Okay, Guille. Very good,
Okay,
Guille.
okay, and that's all. And I am searching someone who can tell me about the exam because as I know, we are going to finish this week.
I don't know, Guille.
Yes, teacher. The
Oh,
the date from the coordination they told me we finished
yes.
on May 5th. So
May
today,
5th.
and but we need
Yes.
to reponer. How do we say reponer?
Ah, to recover, we need to recover.
Recover for classes. So I think this is our last week because we are not going to
Ah,
pay
okay, okay.
May.
Ah, okay, 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 okay.
We
So, yeah,
are only
when
going
are
to
you
pay the diploma.
the diploma? Ah, okay, okay. And
Yes.
Guillermo, how much is the diploma?
How much?
Yes,
250
250 pesos, okay. But that is the Vanguardia diploma, right?
from Vanguardia. And I asked them, when are we going to do the exam? And they told me that we are
Yes.
not going to do the exam with Vanguardia because they have no fechas dates.
They don't have dates?
So say yes, so we need to look for another school to do the exam.
Oh, oh, really, Guille?
Yes, of course. Hmm.
But Guille, so it means, Guille, that the academy doesn't have any alliance with Cambridge
No.
or
No.
oh, come on, Guille.
Yes,
That's
of
bad,
course. So
Guille.
I got very angry because they sell the course together with the
Yes,
certification,
obviously, yes.
together with the Cambridge certification and the CENI certificate from the SEP. And
Yes,
that's
exactly.
not real, that's a lie. So I was um, argue with them
Yes.
because they
And
lied to
yes,
us.
obviously, Guille.
Yes.
Gui- Well, Guille, that's too bad, okay? That's too bad, Guille. So it means that, so Guille, the exam, if you go to, well, the option, Guille, if you go to algo americano, quick learning, or any other academy, Guille, the exam is going to be expensive, Guille. I believe
Seven,
Vanguardia had
7,000.
7,000, yes, Guille, yes. Guille, that's, no, no, no. But Guille, no,
Yes.
no, 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 Guille, no, 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 Guille, don't tell me. I, I was
Yes.
almost sure, well, Guille, I didn't know. Actually, I didn't know, okay, to be honest. that that Vanguardia didn't have any alliance with Cambridge. Because for
No.
example, Guille, for example, and for example, let's say Sylvia, there is a school, look at this, called, look at this, in International House, Mexico. International House, Mexico has branches all over Mexico, ¿no? Pues we have branches in Querétaro, Toluca, Guadalajara, Monterrey, and many other cities, okay?
Yes.
There the exam is 3,800 pesos. Obviously,
Three?
the requirement 3,800 pesos. Obviously, why the requirement, Guille, is that students need to take the certification course with them, and in that
Yes, of
way,
course.
they have that special price. If you go from any other school, obviously, International House will say yes, but with that price, Guille, with 7,000. Guille, and what solution did they give?
Nothing. They say we are very sorry, but for now we don't have any dates, any plans to apply the exam to you. So you need to search another place to do the exam. That's all they said.
Come on, Guille, that's bad. Guille, no, that is unfair.
And that, yes, of course. And that's incredible that you, for example, you are the teacher that you don't know that.
Yes, no, Guille, no. Listen, I was assuming that Vanguardia had the alliance with Cambridge, okay? But, oh, come on, that's too bad, okay? No,
Yes.
Guille, so,
I don't know you, Guille, but the first thing that I told me, they told me that it costs every month 800, and after that they say that no, it's 900, but you wrote me 800. No, it's not, because I make a discount. That's why you have to pay that the first, el gancho, como quien dice. They told me that 800 for month, but after that, no, 900.
Yes, but we are talking
Also,
about the exam, the Cambridge exam, because as we know, this is our last week. So I asked the last week to my coordinator when is going to be the exam, and they told me that they not have dates to apply the exam, that we are going to search by ourselves another place to do that exam.
oh, that's too bad, okay?
Yes.
Okay,
Guille,
so
I
basically,
found a person that I don't know, um, who is like a tutor for exam, for Pusicam exam, and
Mhm.
I asked him, oh, what do you recommend? What school? And he told me that active English, but it's very expensive. Active English is this is the an enterprise that we can trust in active English. Have you ever
Active
heard that?
English. Yes, I already asked to Active English, and it cost about 3,000 more.
Yes, yes, that's true.
Yes, but we need the certificate that we are
Right,
doing a course, no?
right.
Yes, of course.
wow, that's too bad, my ladies, okay? That's, oh, it's unfair, okay? It's fair.
Yes,
So
of
with
course.
active English, the exam costs, Guille, 3,000 pesos?
3,000 pesos, but that's for sending, I don't know the Cambridge exam, because I need my principal goal is to have the CENI certificate. The CENI
Yes.
cost, let me see, I have here 1,300 pesos.
Okay,
They
okay,
need
okay,
the
okay, okay.
certificate, and then I'm going to pay 1,300, and they are going to
Yes.
give me the CENI certificate. Yes. Let me share with you this information.
Yes,
Very good.
please.
Mm. So that's unfair. Yes, of course. I
I guess that. Yes.
Nothing. Did you pay the 250 that
Yes,
they said, I'm going to send your certificate, right?
yes, yes.
Okay,
That's the information here in the WhatsApp group.
right.
Very good.
That's just for the CENI certificate. I don't know for Cambridge what do we have to do.
Ok, pues aquí usted nos puede compartir porque aquí mismo su ficha de pago.
Yeah, and where do you have to pay the 1,300?
By transfer?
No, but to
Uh,
who? To Vanguardia?
no, Active English. It's another school. Vanguardia doesn't have the alliance with Cambridge or
Yes.
the CEP to expand this expedir this certificate.
But they are going to take the certificate from Vanguardia at
No,
Active English.
no.
Active English is different, Denny.
But you have to take another course with Active English. Or you close your
Your
microphone, Guille.
microphone, yeah.
Excuse me, we only have to send the certificate we are going to have from here, from Vanguardia, and then they are going to do all the process.
Okay.
But
Can
no,
you
no, no,
share
Guille, no,
me?
no, 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 no,
Can
no,
you
listen,
share
listen,
with
no, no,
me
no.
the information with
In WhatsApp
The
about?
group.
active English, my ladies, needs the certification from Linguaskill, not from Vanguardia. The certificate from Linguaskill test. Once you get
Right, teacher.
your score and your diploma or your certificate or your letter from Linguaskill, you need to share it to Active English. And with that document, and depending on your level, they will transmit setting. Oh, remember, I told you many times, Linguaskill assesses from A1 to C1. Okay, so depending on the level you get on Linguaskill test, it will be the level you will have on CENI. The higher the level is on Linguaskill, the higher the level will be on CENI. The lower the level is in Linguaskill, the lower the level will be on CENI. But yes, no. You need a certificate from Linguaskill.
Okay, we
Exactly,
have two
exactly,
certificates first with Cambridge.
exactly. And with whatever level you
Okay.
get, you will get the corresponding level to CENI.
Okay.
Right, teacher. Right.
No. But it is a shame, my ladies, that Vanguardia doesn't have the alliance with Cambridge because it will be easier for you, okay, and cheaper for you. Because imagine, as Guille said, the lingua skill test with no alliance, it costs 7,000 pesos plus 1,300 pesos for Seni Tramit is 8,000 and almost 9,000. Okay, that is a lot of money.
Yes.
Okay, it's a lot of money, my friends. Okay, and obviously, Seni and Cambridge, you will need to pay in full cash You cannot pay in payments. Exactly.
Okay.
That is bad,
Okay,
Guille. That is bad, my lady.
I'm going to share another information from another school. Let me check. Um,
Have you checked with Anglo, the Anglo?
no.
Because they were for the TKT, they were the cheapest school for the test.
Exactly.
Online, Denny, online.
No, no, it was like in person, like
Site.
in the like
On site.
you have
On
to
site.
go to some place.
Exactly. Wow, my lady.
Yes,
Well,
teacher, that's too bad.
that's too bad, my lady, okay? Look at this. I'm going. Chicos, le voy a escribir, chicos, a Guille, chicos, del grupo. Lo que pasa es que no, no puedo publicar en el grupo de WhatsApp, pero chicos, voy a escribir a Guille.
Mhm,
Ya
mhm.
que Guille se las comparte a ustedes a modo particular, ¿eh? ¿Dónde está
Okay.
Guille? Esperen, aquí está. Es algo que encontré, chicos, y que
We can
espero
make
que,
another group, WhatsApp
Yes.
group.
y que espero que el precio, chicos, que vi sea real, chicos, pero obviamente ahí tienen ustedes que investigar, ¿eh? Eso comparto a Guille.
Yes. Okay.
Ahí está, ya que Guille se comparte a ustedes en modo privado. Es una escuela que se llama EH México, International
Mexico.
IH México, International House
Okay.
México. Ellos, por ejemplo, chicos, tienen en Querétaro, dice que el examen Linguaskill vale 3,840. Pero
Okay.
ellos tienen que investigar. Si es únicamente para estudiantes que tomaron el curso de certificación con ellos o para cualquier persona, ¿no? Entonces ahí
Okay.
tenemos que investigar, pues, ¿no? Well, maybe that's too bad. Okay. That's too bad, my friends, okay?
Yes,
Okay,
teacher.
so very good. Very good. That's bad, my ladies, okay? Because obviously you will get a certification, obviously. But the idea
Yes.
is to pay the less money you can pay, obviously, no? Because I mean, it's not like cheap, okay? It's not cheap like it's like, yes, I have 8,000,
Mhm.
no? No, it's a lot of
No,
money,
claro.
okay? It's a lot of money.
Muchísimo.
No, it's a
Yes.
lot of money. No. So imagine investing 8,000 pesos in your houses. Well, you can buy many things, no? Okay. No.
Yeah.
That's about it is okay. Okay, so let's continue working. Okay, so remember you have your homework to do the research. Okay, ask Anglo Americano, ask the Anglo, ask International House. Okay, and I don't know if Politécnico has the exam, maybe, or UNAM has the exam, which are major universities. Okay, so
Okay.
homework number one is that to do your research. Okay, and try to get the lowest price, okay? But with a official
Yes.
school, okay? Don't go with any other schools, okay? Very good.
With the first school.
Exactly, no, no, yeah, because maybe sometimes you will find cheaper schools, but maybe it's a scam, okay? It's a fraud.
Yes.
So be careful with that, okay?
Yes.
Be careful also with that. My best advice is go with the major schools, Anglo Americano, Quick Learning, the Anglo, International House, UNAM,
Okay.
Politécnico, no? Tec de Monterrey, maybe, I don't know. No?
Okay. Okay, teacher. So you are going to ask Vanguardia if this is our last week.
Exactly, yes, I can do that, yes, for sure. Yes,
Okay.
exactly, yes.
Okay.
Very good, very good. Okay, my ladies, very good. Okay, so there it goes, okay? Okay, let me share the screen with you, okay? Our today is May 5th, 2025 as goal. By the end of the class, the students will be able to reinforce the review topics for units 1 to 3. Okay, we have already reached, okay, unit 1 to 3. Okay. Okay, please write down please the date and the goal, okay? Very good. Okay, so here is Kari. Very good. Okay. Okay, Maris, ready?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Listen, last class we didn't check. Did you do your homework, ladies? About the writing? Okay, it was Denise, it's gonna be Sylvia, it's
Yes.
A, it's gonna be Kari, it's gonna A. Yes, did you do it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, if you didn't do it, don't worry. Okay, let's do it for homework for tomorrow. Okay. Okay, let's continue. Here it says time to explain the ripple effect. Okay. In the lesson objective is discuss and present an alternate history. But first, let's define what is the ripple effect. The ripple effect refers to the spreading consequences or impact of an action, event, or decision. Most like the ripple is created when a stone is thrown into a body of water. Here are some key points about the ripple effect. Origin. The term is often used in economics, sociology, and environmental science to describe how a single change can lead to broader, interconnected outcomes. For example, economics. A rise in consumer spending can lead to increased production, affecting jobs and income in related industries. Social science. A community initiative such as a new park can improve local health, increase property values, and foster community engagement. Environmental impact. A new policy aimed at reducing pollution can benefit public health and biodiversity, influencing various sectors. Visual representation. The ripple effect is often depicted as concentric circles emanating from a central point, illustrating how initial actions can lead to wider effects. Overall, the ripple effects highlights the interconnection of systems and the potential for small actions to create significant changes over time. Differences. Ripple effect. In Spanish, that is le dice el efecto dominó. Okay. For example, like here, look at this. Here from the book, it says, with a partner, look at the picture of ripples on water. What do you think the ripple effect means when talking about our lives? Think of something that has caused ripples in your life recently. What was it and how did it affect you? What could you have done differently? How would that have changed things? For example, yes, I'm going to tell you about a ripple effect that I had in my life many years ago. When I finished my major, it was in 1997, I tried to work in Veracruz. However, the prices in Veracruz to charge for an hour, they were and they are still very cheap. So I decided to move to Mexico City and start working in Mexico City. I didn't know anyone in Mexico City. Okay, so the ripple effect was that I moved to Mexico City. I started to look for a job in Mexico City. It was in the year 1999, maybe. And I found that there were more options to work as an English teacher in Mexico City. Due to that, I decided to stay in Mexico City, to live in Mexico City, and I lived there for almost 12 years, 13 years. Why? Because of the job opportunities, okay? Thanks to that, Another consequence of the ripple effect was that I was able to buy an apartment in Mexico City. And since I got married, okay, my wife and I decided to move to Tizayuca. Why? Because the apartment was on the sixth floor. So she's kind of how do you say, like she's not thin, she is not like too fat, okay, but she's like let's say a heavy build, okay, without being offensive, okay. She or me, or I am also heavy build, okay. So it was difficult for her, okay, to go up the stairs and down the stairs every day. She started to have pains on her knees, and we decided to move to the Sukan. Okay, that was another consequence of the ripple effect. Okay, we had the money to buy a house, a cheap house in Sukan. Okay, and that was a model of the ripple effect. Okay, the ripple effect began when I decided to move to Mexico City to work. Okay, I'm going to give you 5 minutes. Okay, to think about the ripple effect in your lives. Okay, what decision did you take in the past? Okay, that now you have the good consequences or the bad consequences so far. Okay. So let's think about 5 minutes, okay, to think about ripple effects in your life. Okay. Very good. And obviously, I must tell you that that decision of leaving Veracruz and going to Mexico City to live, it wasn't easy. Why? Because I didn't know anyone in Mexico City. I mean, there was nobody waiting for me, okay, saying, Miguel, welcome to Mexico City. I am your uncle, your aunt, your cousin, nobody, okay? So the first thing was to look for an apartment to rent, and from there to start looking for jobs in Mexico City. I remember getting lost many times in the subway. Why? Because I had never used the subway. Obviously, in Veracruz, we have no subway there, okay? So I remember getting lost many times in the subway. I remember many times asking the policeman, okay, how can I get to, for example, my first job was in university called Universidad de Londres, quite near Hospital General Subway. So I said, what is Hospital General Subway? Never been there, okay? So I got lost many times. Okay, that was another consequence of the ripple effect. That was a bad consequence. Why? Because I wasn't used to moving by subway. Okay, very good. Interesting. Okay, so let's see. I started with Guille. What about you, Guille? What was it, Guille, the I don't know, Guille, the good decision or the bad decision, Guille, which caused many ripple effects?
or
For
both.
example, I can tell you about decisions that I made. Okay, when I moved to Mexico City, okay, obviously I was single. Okay, it was in 1999. Okay, so there I met a teacher. She was a kindergarten teacher, okay, for SEP. So I met her. We started to go out. Okay, and we fell in love with each other. Okay, that was the starting point of a bad ripple effect. Okay, why? Because when we decided to live together, she wasn't the same year that I met as a girlfriend. Okay, she was totally a party girl. She never wanted to stay at home. She wanted to go out with her friends every weekend and not come back to the apartment until maybe Tuesday or Wednesday next week. So that was our consequence. I there I paid, okay, the bad ripple effects for that. Okay. What about you, Guille?
Okay, it's a long story, but I'm going to try to do it as fast as I can. Okay, so
Very good.
my dad has a friend from his childhood. They used to do things together like travel, play bowling, go to Paris, etc. When they got married, my dad's friend called Agustin decided to buy a house in Tequisquiapan, Querétaro. He
Very good.
convinced my father to buy his house too. Finally, my dad did it. And we were neighbors there. And we spent all weekends over there in Tequisquiapan with Agustin's family. So he has a son called Gabriel. I met
Very good.
him in Tequisquiapan and we fall in love. And he was my first and unique boyfriend, and we get married. We got married. Then we lived in Mexico City, but he is an engineer, so he started to build here in Querétaro, and we decided to move here to Querétaro to live. And then we decided to go to Tequisquiapan to live before we came to Querétaro. So
Very
in
good.
Tequisquiapan, I decided to find a job because it's a small town. So I start to search on schools, and
Very good.
there was my first job as a teacher in Tequisquiapan. So I
Very good.
started working like a teacher, as a teacher over there. Then after 2 years, we moved here to Querétaro, and I continued teaching as as a Spanish teacher, literature teacher, and then I finally chose to teach English. And as you teacher, Gabriel is a party boy. So
Ah, God.
he,
Guille.
yes,
No, no,
he
no, no, Guille. No, no.
still now likes the party. He likes to play poker. He likes to drink, to smoke, and we start having problems. And then we decided to got divorced. Today we are good friends, but that's my ripple effect. Thank you very much.
Exactly. But Guille, there, Guille, for example, Guille, you did something, Guille, that I didn't do. For example, when I decided to finish with this year, okay, that was all. We broke up. Obviously, we didn't get married. We just living as a couple, okay. And from that moment, Guille, I cut all communication with her. So, Guille, you are like the, I don't know, Guille, person number 20 who has told me a similar story. But in the end, Guille, they still have a connection, a friendship, okay?
Yes.
Or they still speak
Yes.
or communicate with each other, okay? For me, no, Guille. For me, it's difficult, Guille, because I believe that when relationships finish, okay, for any reason, they must finish, okay? So at some time,
Okay.
she started to look for me, you know, and to be like, come on, Miguel, let's be friends. And I said, no, I don't
Oh,
think it's a
thank
good
you.
idea that you and I can be friends, okay? But Guille, I really admire you, Guille, because you have the emotional intelligence, Guille, to do that. For me, it's not easy. For me, it's not
Yes.
it's not a choice, okay?
Okay. Yes, I know, but I'm going to tell you that when we got divorced, I really fall in troubles.
Okay.
I had a lot of troubles. I got depressed. I started to drink. It was very hard for me to go on by myself because he was the only one man I knew in all my life. So,
Guille,
but
so
now,
he was your only
yes,
boyfriend, Guille.
yes, the only one.
Wow, Guille, that
Yes, of
must have
course.
been very hard, you know?
Yes, very, very hard. So we have 3 children, so we need to have a connection, a good relation between us, and it's nice for me now. I can remember that that period of my life, and it was awful, really awful.
Yes, Guille. I guess so, Guille. I guess
Yes.
so. Very good, Guille. Excellent. No, Guille, thanks God, Guille. I didn't have any kids with this girl. Because if not, Guille, my whole class, so far, I will have a huge pension to pay. But thanks to God, no, okay? No, no,
Yes, I
imagine,
know.
Guille, okay? Obviously, I will have a huge pension to pay, okay? But thanks God, no,
Yes.
we didn't have any kids, okay? We
Every
didn't have any
every
kids, okay?
single men teacher huyen de eso. Every single man.
Yes.
Every
Yes.
single man run away from that. Okay, run away. Very good. Okay. Well, you, Sylvia, what was it, Sylvia, a good decision or a bad decision that you took in your life at some point, Sylvia, and that you have the ripple effects on that?
Well, in I finished my major in 2001, and I decided
Very good.
to work in telebachillerato. Have you ever heard? Right? And they sent
Oh,
me
telebachillerato,
to
really?
the
Good.
yes, to the Sierra Hidalguense, but Pisa Flores. Have you ever heard Pisa Flores? Oh, it's horrible.
No,
The It's hot and no air, and I I have a one single room, and a frog was on my head. I thought it was horrible.
a
It's like
frog,
a night.
Sylvia, a frog?
Yes, teacher, because it's
My,
humid. Yes,
oh,
I only
Sylvia.
was Yes, one mountain was from Querétaro and the other was from San Luis Potosí because it's in the shore of the state Hidalgo.
Huh?
And then
Okay.
I want I work and return. I was there for 8 months, and my friend
Okay.
told me, "Oh, Sylvia, that this university look for a teacher." Okay, I'm going to do the exam in 2002, right? In May. I was in 2001, something like that. Yes. And then I was in that university for 9 years. Sierra Hidalguense, but I was very strong because always I was at home, and no, it's very cruel. It's very hard to stay in another place with no mother, no brothers or sister, or nobody to meet. You know, teacher. And
Oh, yeah.
different.
Silvia, I am experimentado, Silvia. Experimentado, okay?
It's very hard. And depressed, also depressed. And then I was there, and I was in and I took in the middle of this time, I took a course in University of Toronto, teacher. I saved money
Okay.
and I went there in 2004,
Oh,
right?
very good.
Yes, I like it very much. I took a trip from China's travels, and I went to Toronto, Vancouver, Ontario. Right, teacher?
Oh,
I
wonderful,
was living in
Silvia.
Ontario with a homestay, right, teacher? I went
Okay,
alone with a homestay.
very good.
And then
Silvia,
I
Silvia, I'm so sorry. Silvia, why didn't you stay in Ontario? Why did you go back to Mexico, Silvia?
went.
Why didn't you stay in Ontario? Because I imagine, Silvia, that in that part of your life you were single, no? You weren't married, you didn't have kids.
Right, teacher.
I don't know. Exactly. So,
Right,
Silvia,
but I
why
don't
didn't you
know.
stay in Ontario?
I don't know, teacher. I have to think more. I was I was in the Niagara Falls, teacher, also, because
Oh,
that
wonderful.
Japanese travel or Japanese agency, they were very cheap in that time, 2004, teacher.
Okay.
Yes.
Very good.
I was a little nervous, but because I was alone, but I said, if I stayed alone in the mountains, I can do it in that cold weather, right?
Very good.
And I
Okay,
like
okay,
it.
okay.
But I would like to stay more time.
Oh,
And
excellent,
you know
Silvia.
that Canada is multicultural, right?
Yes, exactly, yes.
Yes. I took some courses with the elders.
Okay.
Free.
Okay.
Yes.
Silvia, Anna,
And then
how
I
long did you stay in Canada? How long did you stay
only
in Canada?
4
A
months,
year,
teacher.
4 months.
Only
Okay,
4 months, teacher,
very
because
good.
I don't have enough money.
And then you came back to Mexico.
Sometimes, yes. Sometimes I eat hot dogs, teacher. It's very cheap there. Yes, teacher.
Silvia. Hard, Silvia. Not very hard, no?
Yes, but I aguante.
I held up. Aguante. I held up.
I
Held up.
held up, right. And
Very
then I
good,
come
Silvia.
back to also.
You are muted, Silvia. Very good.
And then I
Good.
come back to the university in 2004, and then in in 2008, a student met me,
Good. Yes.
introduced uh,
Huh?
um, his mate from the
Huh?
estadia. He
Very
was
good.
the estadia in CDMX.
Very good.
Mhm. And because I have broke I have broken with my boyfriend, and my hair broke, right?
Very good.
And then in hearing, he introduced me, him, and then when mm, I was with him with 2 years, and then I got pregnant, and then I got married, and then I have to live in Acapulco because he's from Acapulco, teacher.
Very
I
good. Okay.
I quit my job, or I left my job. It's hard because I in Acapulco, I have to live with my suegros, teacher, mother-in-law,
Ah,
and sister and
digo,
father-in-law.
¿cómo dice suegros? Digo, ¿cómo dice suegros en general? I have to live with my in-laws. Ahí le puse
Yes,
en el chat aquí de
in-laws.
Meet.
I mean, it's
Ok.
not easy, teacher. It's not easy. It's a it reflects. Yes, teacher. You know, teacher, live when you live in another house with another people, it's hard to eat,
Yes.
also to eat. And
Ay, Silvia.
yes, teacher, I was very thin, and I prayed every day to come back to Mexico, to Pachuca. Yes,
Exactly. Yes, for
I
sure.
was I lived there for 3 years, and then my
Okay.
husband told me that he's going to work in CDMX. That's why we moved to CDMX for 5 years in 2012, and
Good.
2000, from 2012 to 2018, 5 years more or less. And
Very
then
good.
in 2017, it was an earthquake, right? Did you remember?
Yes. Yes.
2018.
Exactly.
He said,
Yes.
"Oh no, we have to move to Pachuca because you have your house." Ah, thanks, good. You
Silvia.
have your house. Yes, teacher. And
Very good.
then it was my replay re, reflex effects,
Ripple effects.
reply
Ripple
effects,
effects. Yes. Ripple
uh,
effects. Yes.
ripple effects.
Oh, very interesting, Silvia. No, so very interesting, Guille. Okay, very good. What about Denise? What can you tell Denise? What was, Denise, the good decision, Denise, or the bad decision that made you have good ripple effects, Denise, or bad ripple effects, Denise?
Oh, teacher, I have a lot of stories stories about I was
Okay,
always
okay.
behind the good things. So that's why I became a Christian.
Okay. Okay, okay. Denise,
Yes,
okay.
of
um,
course. You too.
well, I have mm, it was um I was like always I started working around when I was around 17 or 16 years
Very young.
old. Uh-huh. And then I was always like in bilingual jobs.
Okay,
So they pay me like good.
okay.
So I like kept working always in things with English.
Very good.
So when I start my major, I'm an accountant,
Okay,
but I never work as an accountant. So I was in school, and when I was in school, I went and we were making the social service.
Very good.
They were like giving you just for the transportation. So I said, no, 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 I cannot be like getting that kind of money. So I like wait to for the end of the career. So finally I finished the major, right?
Good. Yes.
And I never work as an accountant, not even in my social service. So when I finish, I start looking for a job, and then they were paying the same as when you were in the career in the first like semesters of the career.
Very good.
So that's why I never like work as an accountant, because I was horrified about the payments they 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 offer me. So I continue like working in bilingual till I became a teacher,
Very good.
and that's one of the stores.
Very
So
good.
that was my replay effect, because I didn't like did the correct thing in the correct time. So at the end, I get my my bad effect or my replay effect.
Ripple effect. Very good.
Mm.
Very good. Okay. Excellent. What about Kari? Kari, what can you tell us, Kari? What was it, Kari? The good decision, Kari, or the bad decision you took, and you had ripple effects, Kari?
The bad decision, one of the consequences was that during the pandemic, I will stay up until 4 or 5 in the morning playing Roblox. But I was also too lazy to exercise, and that was my
Okay.
sport. And by staying up late, I didn't grow
Okay.
as much. So,
Oh,
and then it was a disappointment since as a kid I was one of the highest in my class. Now I am one of the shortest,
okay,
not
okay.
the more shortest, but I shortest, but I don't know what's happened with me in the pandemic, but like it. Uh, Sleep at 5 in the morning.
Okay, okay, Kari. Oh, Kari, that is a bad consequence, Kari, no? Because, I mean, obviously,
Yes,
not eating
bad.
healthily, not sleeping well. Oh, Kari, that's
I
interesting.
regret it. But yes.
Obviously, Kari. And Kari, and what today, Kari? Do you go to exercise? Do you follow a diet?
Um, diet? No, I never have a diet.
Very good.
Exercise, yes.
Okay, okay, Kari. Very good. Okay. And Kari, and what exercise do you do? Do you go to the gym? Do you go running? Do you go swimming? I don't know.
Well, was a kid, I went to swim, but now, well, well, I was. Now was when I was went to a boxing,
Good.
a gym,
Okay, okay.
um, and self defense.
Oh, wonderful, Kari. Very good. Okay. Excellent, my ladies. Okay, listen. Let's stop here. Okay? Listen, I'm going to stop the recording. Look at this.